1893, deep in the misty mountains of Kentucky, there lived a family that history tried to erase. But their story is too dark, too horrifying to ever be forgotten. Imagine a quiet Appalachian hollow. Mist rolls over the trees. The chirping of crickets hides the whispers of something sinister. And behind one creaky wooden door, an entire family of killers was being born. They weren't outlaws. They weren't robbers. They weren't even driven by money. No, their violence came from something deeper. Something rotten within the bloodline. But before we go deeper, let me ask you, backhand index pointing right, do you believe evil can be inherited? Backhand index pointing right, or is every killer made by circumstance, by poverty, by isolation? Comment your answer below. I'll be reading them carefully, and tell me where in the world you're watching this from. The Appalachian backwoods of the late 1800s were unforgiving. Families lived in near total isolation. Education was scarce. Law enforcement? Almost non-existent. And here, in the shadow of the Cumberland Mountains, the Brockwell family, fictionalized for storytelling, began their reign of terror. They were known to the locals only as the Hollow Beasts, not because of their looks, but because when you stared into their eyes, there was nothing there, no warmth, no soul, only hunger. Their neighbors whispered that the Brockwells had turned to inbreeding for generations, hiding from outsiders, creating their own twisted dynasty. And with each generation, the violence grew darker. By 1893, for Brockwell brothers and their sister, yes, their sister, had earned a reputation that no sheriff dare confront. They lured travelers. They butchered families. They vanished entire hunting parties. But the question that history still asks is this. Backhand index pointing right, why did anyone stop them? Backhand index pointing right, how many people disappeared into those mountains, never to be seen again? As dusk fell, locals told stories of screams echoing through the hills. Lanterns flickered in the distance, then vanished. And sometimes, blood was found in the creeks, running cold beneath the moonlight. Still, nobody dared to approach. Because in Appalachia, family blood runs thicker than justice. And the Brockwells protected their own with a savagery you couldn't imagine. Even lawmen who rode into the hollow never rode back out. Now here's a chilling thought for you. Backhand index pointing right, if you lived in that Kentucky town in 1893, would you have spoken up? Or would you have stayed silent, knowing the family was always watching? Comment below. Would you risk your life to stop them? The legend says the Brockwells didn't just kill for survival. They fed on those who wandered too close. Cannibalism whispered in every Appalachian cabin, but no proof was ever found. Or maybe nobody dared to look for proof. By the winter of 1893, entire villages were fleeing. The hollow emptied. Families abandoned their homes overnight. And yet, the Brockwell cabin still stood, smoke curling from its chimney. Some say, to this day, you can still hear children laughing in that hollow. Not the laughter of the living, but the echo of something left behind. But here's the twist. When federal marshals finally stormed the hollow, they found the Brockwell cabin abandoned. The table was set for dinner. Fresh food still warm, but no sign of the family. It was as if they knew the law was coming, and they vanished into the forest, swallowed by the mountains forever. Now tell me this. Backhand index pointing right, did the Brockwells escape into the mountains and survive? Backhand index pointing right, or do you think the hills themselves consumed them, their curse becoming part of the land? Even now, more than a century later, hikers report strange sightings. Figures lurking among the trees. A cabin that appears at night, then disappears in daylight. Some even claim to have heard the screams. Others? Laughter. So I'll ask you again. Backhand index pointing right, do you believe the Brockwell family still roams those woods? Backhand index pointing right, or are they just a ghost story to scare children? If you've made it this far into the story, you're one of the few brave enough to walk into the hollow with me. So before you go, I want to hear from you. Speech balloon, where are you watching from? Speech balloon, would you ever spend a night in those Appalachian woods? And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because we uncover the darkest stories history tried to bury. Stories that might just keep you awake tonight. This was the Appalachian family of killers, and their legend still lingers. If you listen closely, maybe you'll hear them too.